I've been waiting for Hyper Light Drifter with bated breath since the Kickstarter succeeded a few years ago. Simply everything about this gorgeous pixel art dungeon crawler from Heart Machine had me hooked instantly. It's been a long wait, but today it finally ended. Hyper Light Drifter launched, I grabbed it immediately, and then I put about 8 hours into it before I realized that I need to go ahead and sit down and actually make this video. I'd be lying if I said that I hadn't been a bit skeptical. All too often we're presented something gorgeous and told, yep, this is what the game will be and it'll definitely be good, only to find the opposite out on release. And yes, I was worried. I'm pleased to say, however, that Hyper Light Drifter is a damn good game that managed to suck me in harder than any game I've played recently. To start, the story is presented only with pictures. There are no words or voices telling you exactly what happened. While the pictures are usually pretty clear, there's definitely some room for interpretation when it comes to some of them. There are a few NPCs that will give you little snippets of their own stories, and in some cases, stories about the area you're in. There's also this really kick-ass adventure that, in my opinion, reveals some pretty heavy stuff later on in the game, but we won't talk too much about that because spoilers! There's also a decent amount of environmental storytelling. Again, I don't want to say too much because, you know, spoilers, but if you pay close attention to the environments you adventure through, you'll notice some really kick-ass little tidbits. Speaking of paying attention, the world of Hyper Light Drifter is littered with secrets. Throughout the world, there are little boxes that have a yellow thingamajig inside of them. Collecting 4 of these little things grants you a big one, and a big yellow thing can be used to purchase upgrades back at the main town. These upgrades or abilities are total game changers, not just arbitrary increases to numbers or damage. Being able to attack and reflect bullets is one ability. Another is tossing out a grenade, and my favorite ability so far is easily the ability to chain your dashes together. You can go really fast with this. It's satisfying, fun, and incredibly useful in combat if you can keep track of where you are. Oh, there's also this mini game, and you need to chain what I think totals up to about 1,000 dashes together, and there's some kind of secret in there. I definitely spent way too much time trying to beat this thing, and I've only been able to chain about 300 together so far. I need to know what it is. What is it? What is in there? I want it! When it comes to combat, I have to say that this isn't at all what I was expecting. It's definitely seasoned with a bit of hack and slash variety, but it's far less forgiving and easy than I thought it was going to be. You really need to pay attention to the enemies you're fighting, where they are, and if they're about to attack. It doesn't take a lot to kill you, and you're pretty much always outnumbered. Making use of your abilities is a huge deal, and I found myself having to leave an area to come back later after having a bit more practice. Because the upgrades you can get are mainly new abilities, Hyper Light Drifter manages to maintain an emphasis on player skill throughout its entirety. Blasting through difficult encounters is exhilarating and satisfying with the best of them. I can't go too into boss design without saying too much, but trust me when I say that the bosses are hard as balls. I easily spent the better part of an hour on one of them, and I feel like I won because I got a little lucky, but it was a good feeling regardless. Visually, this game is a masterpiece. There are so many stunning scenes and environments, the animations are all brilliant, and it all comes together in a way that just feels good to look at and play. There's nothing else to say, it is visually flawless. Level design is, for the most part, on point. I think that some of the dungeons could have some more checkpoints and health pickups, but that's the only issue I have with them. It's just a huge pain to get through a long segment only to make one little mistake and get sent all the way back. Though there's almost always a checkpoint before a big fight, the sometimes infrequent health pickups really force the player to be careful, but sometimes it's just not possible to do that or to take things slow, like when you get surrounded by a bunch of enemies that you weren't expecting. Just, for example. There was also a time I got right up to a boss with only 2 health and no medkits. When you die, you respawn with what you had when you entered the room, so when I died on the boss, I came back with 2 health and no medkits. I ended up having to go through the whole dungeon again to get medkits and to not suck as bad as I did before. It added a lot of time. More medkits, some extra health given back on respawn, or a way to get medkits to take with you somewhere in town would help out a lot. Lastly, there were a couple of very minor glitches that I noticed. Nothing that affected me in a negative way, just some clipping or map marking issues that fix themselves. In the grand scheme of things, my grievances with Hyper Light Drifter are far and away outweighed by the praise I have for it. There's simply so much about this game that's good, I find it hard to be anything but blown away by it. It's a unique game in an even more unique world with amazing visuals, clever mechanics, and challenging gameplay. There really isn't anything like it. You can pick it up on Steam for about 20 bucks. If you like good games, then play it. That's just it. Just go get it, go play it. I'm gonna go and dump another 1,000,000 hours into it. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Indie Bytes. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. If you have any indie games that I should check out, then please shoot them my way. You can leave a comment down below, or you can drop me a line on Twitter. My handle's @forkh, or you can shoot me an email at fork4h@gmail.com. I'll see you next time. Bye!